Hello, everybody. I hope everybody had themselves a great week, and you went crate digging and found yourself some good stuff. You'll have to forgive me. God, I have a bad hair. I need to get a haircut. I ended up incapacitated for about a week. I tore my meniscus in my left knee. I work for a particular big box chain that I will not mention their name, but it's the biggest. I think you can figure that much out. And I heard it there. And thank God I'm finally today. It's Tuesday, the 22nd, 23rd, I'm not sure which. And I finally was able to get back up and around somewhat. So I'm a little happy about that. So some of the stuff that I'm going to show you today, I'm hoping to make it a shorter show than normal. I know I've had a lot of people go off and say, we love your shows. Why are they so long? I'm sorry. I kind of get long-winded. I have stories thrown into things. And I'll admit, sometimes it is a little lengthy to go 35 minutes long in my show. I'm sorry, guys. I know some of you, the other ones out there that I won't mention names, I'm not complaining. You guys have got longer shows than I do. I have to admit, when I do see your shows, I usually can't watch them all at once. I usually break them apart into 2 or 3 pieces because of time. So I'll try to keep it a little short today. I can't promise. Okay, let's see here. This is stuff that I picked up over the last 2 weeks. Okay, and then I have a couple that I picked up today. I'll talk about in a minute too. How about this? We'll start off with, once again, digging through CDs. Found a couple signed ones. 50 Cent, A.J. Croce. Does this name sound familiar to you by chance? Maybe, maybe not. A.J. Croce is the son of Jim Croce. Yes, the son of Jim and Ingrid Croce. He was more along the line of in the blues rock vein, at least at one point or another. He used to come down here to Fayetteville on a frequent basis. He hasn't been here in about 2-3 years, though, unfortunately. This one here is from 1996, but he signed the inside of this one. Okay, here's another one. This kind of makes me laugh a little bit. Okay, I was at the Goodwill about a week and a half back, and I'm digging through, and believe it or not, it's kind of funny. I don't know if you vinyl collectors out there, when you're doing your resale shop things, have come across a different kind of collector that have little scan bar devices, portable ones that they bring. We're talking about the used booksellers. You ever had to deal with them? Some are nice, some are just a little bit out there. But, all they do is scan, bing, 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 throw it in the cart if it's worth it. They got it set to their own little thing. Fine, fantastic. That's your own little market. But thankfully enough, every one of them I've come across has said, we don't care about vinyl. And I say to myself, good, because I don't want you to care about vinyl. That's where I come in. You go deal with the books, I go deal with the vinyl. But sometimes I do come across some things that are mixed in with the books. Okay. Well, the first thing I'll tell you about is I did end up finding a signed book by former General Oliver North. Yeah, you remember him. Kind of got caught in the Reagan era and whatever stuff he did. Point is that beautifully personally signed. That's another thing. I do have signed books too that I have collected over the last couple of years. Down here is a semi-hotbed of signed books because of being a certain big box retail corporate headquarter. we get a lot of book signings from time to time. So I remember who comes in here, and I will look, and believe it or not, 50% of the time I find a signed copy. So what was mixed in with the signed books, which really shouldn't have been mixed in with the signed books? Chris Montez, the A&M Masters. Do you remember Chris Montez? He's been around since the early 60s, and even I had to be slightly ignorant about this. This is the A&M Masters, right? And it says here, of course, it's signed. I know you can't see that, but it's to Judy, right? But he must have loved it so much he signed it twice, because he signed the CD too. And I was trying to realize here why Let's Dance wasn't on here, which was his biggest hit. Well, duh. The reason why Let's Dance wasn't on there is because it wasn't on A&M Records. It was on a small label. I want to say Monogram, I think was the label. I could be wrong on this, in like 62. So there was my signed stuff, okay? Here's another piece of signed weirdness. You know me in 78. This is not a London 78, but this is it says here Columbia promotion record, not for sale, okay? Now, I normally could care less about this. I'll tell you what it is, though. It's Tenderly and Blues in the Night by Rosemary Clooney, okay? But it is with Percy Faith and his orchestra. I know you can't see this. It's signed in red, okay? It's Percy Faith's autograph on here to a Donna, all right? I mean, I had to strain to look at this, and I could tell about 75% of the autograph is Percy Faith. And I'm sitting here and I looked up and I'm like, what in the hell and why is this in a Fayetteville, Arkansas Goodwill? And so for $1, of course I'm going to get it. I mean, maybe there isn't a market for this stuff anymore. Percy Faith, I found out, died in February 1976. And the best I could figure out for this particular 78, and this isn't much help, that it was released sometime between 1948 and 1958. Because that was when Percy Faith was with Columbia, and I think also Rosemary Clooney was there around that time too. Okay, here's another thing here. This is how stupidly dedicated I can be in digging for records. I'm in a Salvation Army, okay, down in Fayetteville, and I'm about ready to leave. There really wasn't much. I haven't been down there in like 9 months to a year. They changed the layout of the place. I really didn't care for it, but there was a small amount of vinyl, but nothing really worth writing to go home about. And I'm just sitting here going, okay, fine. And I'm getting ready to leave, and I turn the corner, and what do I see at my feet but a huge, about this big, Rubbermaid plastic tub, excuse me, full of 45s, most of them with picture sleeves. And all it said on there was, $1 a piece. And I'm thinking, I'm like, normally I wouldn't spend $1 for 45s. But you see, these were all 45s from 1987 to about 1990, okay? That's the first thing I figured out. The second thing I figured out was that these came from a jukebox company. When I was going through these, I found a bunch of jukebox tags, which I tried to match them up with what I had here. I'm not kidding when I say there probably was about 200 records in that bin. Here was the catch, kids. They were mismatched. That pissed me off. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. I spent an hour to an hour and a half digging through and trying to match up what I could. Unfortunately, guess what? I only found 5 out of all of that. But I found a lot of empty picture sleeves that didn't match the records. And they were all hair metal. I'm not kidding you. And I went to the lady and I said, look, you know, there's no records with these. You know, can I just get this pile for like a special price? And the one lady said, yeah. The other lady said no. She was being a total B-word and said $1 a piece for the picture sleeves. I said, there's no records in these picture sleeves. And she's like, $1 a piece. I threw them back in the damn box. I said, I was trying to help you out. I was trying to help you out, clean up the mess a little bit, because it was messy. So what did Paul get out of the 5? Well, here we go. Let's see. Like I said, these are all like 87 to about 80. This batch here was 87, 88, okay? Really decent condition for these jukebox ones, because I went and did the best I could. Def Leppard's Armageddon It. Yes, 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 yes. There's your front and back. Of course, on your Mercury Polygram, all of them have barcodes. I'm a big Cheap Trick fan, okay? Ghost Town, all right. Bunny smoking the cigarette in the back. Also on Epic. And I heard they didn't really care to do this. Don't Be Cruel, okay? Back with I Know What I Want Live. Of course, both of these taken from the Lap of Luxury album from 1988. All these have barcodes. Poison's every rose has its thorn. Good old Poison. I like Poison on the Enigma Capital label. This last one, I'll admit, this last one got me. But maybe it shouldn't have as much, considering knowing that the Cheap Trick ones were put on 45s. I like REO. You like REO? I like REO. Well, I didn't know that they released REO, the Here With Me 45 from the Greatest Hits from late 88. That's what this is Here With Me, backed with wherever you're going, it's okay. Which that one doesn't, I don't know what that's, oh. Alright, I'm a little bit ignorant on this. It says here that this is from the Goonies soundtrack. I didn't even know REO did a song for the Goonies. Are the Goonies good enough? Well, only time will tell, right? But that's the B-side of this sucker. Oh, 1985, okay. So I guess that's what they did, though. They stuck Here With Me and then stuck the Goonies tune as the B-side. See, I knew the Goonies soundtrack was good, but was that good enough to? Never mind. Okay, let's see here. Then we go to today's findings. Well, today's and last week's mixed up here. Last week's, here we go. Here's a band that I've barely heard of. Hey, Ronnie, have you ever heard of these guys? Tucky Buzzard. Yes, Tucky Buzzard. Now, Tucky Buzzard, from what I'm led to believe here, I think we're taking Tucky Buzzard got started in, I think 70, 71, roughly, okay? This particular album here is from 1973, Passport Records, but guess what? It's also under the Purple Records insignia. What's that mean? That means Deep Purple had some involvement in finding these guys, and they signed them as well. Now, my little ignorance is this. Jimmy Henderson's on here, lead vocal, harp, percussion for Tucky Buzzard. Is this still the same Jimmy Henderson that ended up going to Black Oak, or is this a different Jimmy Henderson? That one I'm going to be a little ignorant on. Here's the other thing, too, though. Okay. Produced by Bill Wyman. Yeah, he produced Tucky Buzzard. He also ends on here and for playing piano, which I didn't know he could play, but that's him doing piano. Tony Ashton, remember him, Astor Gardner and Dyke, that band? Yeah, he's also on here too, to go off and do some Hammond organ as well. Nobody else that I know off the top here, but it's Jimmy Henderson, Terry Taylor, Chris Johnson, Phil Talbot, and Dave Brown. All of these ones here, I ended up getting for like $2 a piece. The guy marked them down considerably from what they really were. This one here, I think it's their second album, All Right on the Night. Okay, or maybe I'm getting this mixed up. I apologize. Yeah, I think that's 1973 on this one. Pretty much the same lineup. There he is, drinking his booze. Still Bill Wyman production on all of this, which is beautiful. And it says here, recorded with the Rolling Stones mobile unit on location, which they were always good at having that. Here's another one for you. 1975. Dog Soldier. I like the cover. It's almost got a Roger Deanish kind of look, doesn't it? But it's not him. It turns out that the artwork is from Rick Breach Photography. I'm not sure, but Roger Deanish nevertheless. Here's the back of this. This, like I said, this is from 1975. United Artists Records, okay? Here's your UA. This one's a brown one this time. Here's the thing, though. The only person that's really known from this band, Keith Hartley playing drums. And if you remember Keith Hartley, he used to have the Keith Hartley Band. So he must have done an offshoot on this one. Lastly, I love this band. This is maybe only the second album that I have. Good old Atomic Rooster, made in England. That's right, with the late, great Vincent Crane on here, along with... Who else is on this one? I can't get to this right this minute, but it says here, I don't know. Here's your back of it, though. Like I said, this one's from 1972 on the beautiful Butterfly Electra. All these albums, they're at least near mint to mint. Really beautiful stuff. Okay, I went out today really quick. Now that I'm feeling better, Picked up a couple quarter items, okay? This one I got because I thought it was interesting. Toyota Jazz Parade. Never heard of it. It's a special album from RCA, okay? So you got Total Jazz Parade Jazz and Total Jazz Parade Rock. And like I said, the cover in here is pretty cool. Kind of, you can't see too much of it, but like he's got a whole thing going here. And what it is it actually has one side of it is jazz. Okay, you got Al Hirt, Dukes of Dixieland, Louis Armstrong, and King Oliver. Okay. Then you also have Jose Feliciano, Jerry Reed, The Generation Gap, and The Guess Who, and Jefferson Airplane. And you know what? Like I said, I thought this was kind of neat for early 70s, I'm guessing on that, for Toyota Jazz Parade. Hey, it's Ella Wishes You a Swingin' Christmas. I know, another Ella. Found this one at the same place I found all the other Ellas. I think somebody finally dumped the rest of it. On Verve Records, I know this one isn't super duper clean, but it's only have a couple light scratches. But there she is. Gotta love her. Let's see here. Hey, Mike Adams. I know you're watching on this once in a while. You probably would get a kick out of this one, and maybe even Ronnie may get a kick out of this too. I found the Living Strings play I'm a Believer and Other Monkey Hits. Looky, looky, ooh la la, there she is on the bike. And you've got everything from Theme of the Monkey, Stepping Stone, Last Train to Clarksville, Mary, Mary, She, I'm a Believer. This is kind of funny, I gotta confess, for the times anyway. Super duper clean, never been played, gee, I wonder why. Because it wasn't the Monkees, that's why. And then here's one. Okay, I like Ray Charles. You like Ray Charles? I like Ray Charles. Never seen this one before, though. But Volcanic Action of My Soul. Ray Charles, the Bishop of Atlanta. Ray Charles. This is a Record Club of America issue, ABC Records, and a product of Tangerine Records, which I've never heard of this. But I'll try to pull this out a little bit. Mint condition, but as you can see, it's got the Tangerine Records on the side of the ABC color bar. Kind of weird. I know Ronnie did a show on ABC stuff last month. No, I'm sorry, January. That was a good show, Ronnie. I think there's a bunch of us, hopefully. We're praying that he does a show for Uni Records. Please, please, please. I'd love to see something. God, you know, you could almost fill up about 2 hours of Uni material. All right, lastly, some other things I picked up really quick today. Don't find too many books, but 1,000 record covers. I'm telling you, there was some interesting stuff in here. Just for even amusing, but it's all in color. The pages are really, really nice in here. You know, all genres pretty much, mostly rock and blues. But, I mean, by Michael Ochs, OCHS. If you've never heard of this, this is pretty cool. Couldn't pass this up for a couple dollars. There he is with his, probably, I'm assuming, big record collection. This was put out when? In 2001. So, I mean, it's a little old, but so what? A little amusing as it is. DVD, guess what? For $2, Music Bank. The videos of Alice in Chains, mint condition, for $2. Couldn't pass this up. I love Alice in Chains. Okay, lastly, shout-outs. Shout-outs really, really quick on this. Of course, Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark. Please go on Facebook, like his page, and listen every Sunday night, 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, please. After that, the Night Owl Lounge with Mike Adams, right on after Wax Museum from 9 to 10 p.m. Let's see, who else? Crate Junkies, Thrifty Music Collectors, YouTube Vinyl Community Page. Here's another one I'm going to throw at you, okay? Wrinkled Records. I love Wrinkled Records. Why do I love Wrinkled Records? Because I ordered the new B.J. Thomas. Do you know he's back? He never left. B.J. Thomas never left. This sucker's signed, I ended up, you can get one too. You want to get a signed BJ Thomas CD? Go to wrinkledrecords.com and go order yours. Like them on Facebook too, because they're starting to get some people. Okay, the BJ is, like, in my opinion, their flagship artist, but they're starting to get some other people on here. Now, this is called the Living Room Sessions. This got put out about 2 weeks ago. Who's on here along with them? How about Vince Gill? I actually like that. I'm not a big Vince Gill fan, but this one was really nice. I like the track with Kev Mo here most of all. That one's a nice one. Richard Marx. Does that name sound familiar to you? I know a lot of people would like to moan and groan about Richard Marx, but he actually co-wrote some decent hits for some other pop groups. Richard Marx is back, and he happened to be on here with BJ also for the Hey Won't You Play Another Somebody Done Some Ruddy Wrong song, and it's actually a really good version. I like it. Let's see who else is on here. Etta Britt. Etta Britt's another one that signed with Wrinkled Records. She's got a new CD coming out, I think, really, really soon. And Lyle Lovett is also on here too. But like I said, it's good that he's back. Go to Wrinkled Records and go subscribe at their site too. Cannot really think of anybody else at this moment. I know I'm leaving out a lot of people. You'll have to forgive me on this. I'm trying to make this short. I may do a special video later in the week. I will tell you why in the next episode. All of the things I probably show in the next episode will be for sale. I normally don't do this. There's a reason. I will talk to you all probably later this week. Take care, God bless, and rock on.